Hey everybody, welcome back to Been There Watch That. Check us out at beentherewatchthat.com on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, BTWT Pod. Joe maintains our websites, keeps us updated. Last three, we're kind of been jumping back in 20-year increments. We had Ford versus Ferrari 2019. Then we jumped back, that was my pick, jumped back for American Beauty from 1999, Dave's pick. And this week, Joe has sent us back another 20 years to 1980 with the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
I had seen it once before, and I think I remember just chasing around, people chasing them around in cars, but I didn't really know what the whole backstory was. So it was nice for me to rewatch it. A lot of these, I'm like, yeah, I saw it a long time ago, but it's pretty much new to me rewatching it. That whole mall scene, I was like, oh yeah, it's the mall scene.
Yeah, it's like
crashing through the mall in their cars.
That's like me. I've seen bits and pieces over the years, and I think this is the first time I've actually sat down from beginning to end and watched all of it. So it was, I could basically call that my first watch. But it's such a classic movie that I had it on my list that we have to watch this one just to see if it holds up to the classic status.
Yeah, and it is a good pick. You did a good job, Joe.
Well, thank you.
Much better than Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I was entertained.
And I've seen this, a couple times, and always kind of here and there. So I really enjoyed going back through and actually watching it for this purpose.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
set the stage for us. What's the background?
Yeah.
What's the synopsis of this?
Oh, all right. Well, before we do that, I brought in a little movie memorabilia in today, guys.
What is that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you made the second person
Is it a
today
book?
that say that. The first one was my 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
We was walking out the door. I was bringing her to school, and she goes, "Dad, what's that?" I said, "That's a Blues Brother." "What is that?" I said, "This is how Mommy and Daddy used to watch movies when we was little."
Yeah.
"But why?" So thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for
Why would
anybody
you-
under the age of, 25 maybe, this is what we used to call a VHS tape. It would come in this paper sleeve,
Yep.
and
Plastic. And
yeah, and you pull it out.
little wheels inside that spin around.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is how
Bigger version of a cassette.
Yes, and this is how the Blues Brothers, you could actually originally buy it to watch it in your home.
A
So
little history lesson there.
yeah. All right, so too much education, boys. We need to get back on track.
Yeah. Anyway, so synopsis.
Yes. So after the release of Jake Blues from prison, he and Brother Elwood go to visit the Penguin, the last of the nuns who raised them in an orphanage. They learn the archdiocese will stop supporting the school and will sell the place to the education authority. The only way to keep this place open is if the $5,000 tax on the property is paid within 11 days. The Blues Brothers want to help and decide to put their blues band back together and raise the money by staging a big gig. As they set off on their mission from God, they seem to make more enemies along the way. Will they manage to come up with the money in time?
And it's an interesting deal to me anyway, because after I watched it the second time, I was kind of like, man, there's religious overtones that's kind of crazy. So, I don't know if you guys really paid attention, but, they called her the Penguin, which obviously she was a nun.
Right.
And she had the doors open before they get to the door, and the door closes behind them in her office. And her office is up in the tower of an orphanage. And then at the very end, she throws them out, and then she gets kind of drawn back in as if, which you normally see in demonic type scenes.
Yeah.
But this is a nun that they call the Penguin. And I was like, what in the heck is this all about?
Yeah, little Exorcist vibes a little bit going on.
Yeah.
And I laughed the whole time that they kept saying they're on a mission from God.
That's
But every shady thing they did, I was like, I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, they're just full of debauchery. And
Yeah.
and I really like the scene in her office where she beats him with a ruler.
Because they can't stop cussing, because every time she hits them, another one comes out. Eventually she just starts swinging. At both
Swinging
of them.
for the fences, yes.
Man, that stunt where he was in this little chair, like a desk chair.
Yeah,
in
that he
school,
didn't
and
fit
he
in.
came down the stairs and that thing. Or
Yeah.
maybe not, obviously not him, but somebody. That was a heck of a stunt.
Yeah,
That looked
actually,
painful.
yeah, John Belushi did that stunt himself,
Oh,
and I
wow.
found a quick note on that.
It's like those little desks you're at school when you're a kid, and got the chair with the desk right there, but he's not a kid anymore, so he's stuck in it pretty much. His belly's getting
Yeah, let me
stuck
find
in his old desk.
Okay. Yeah,
I said I don't know that I'd fit in one of those desks anymore, but you know.
according to John Landis, John Belushi sprained his back falling down the stairs in the desk from the Penguin's office, and he was in a back brace and on painkillers for the rest of the filming.
Yeah.
You know, I went through some crazy facts about the Blues Brothers. He also was riding a kid's skateboard before the big concert scene and wrecked it and hurt himself.
Really?
Yeah. And it says you notice him limping a little in the tunnel after they escaped the ballroom. That was because
the skateboard.
Yeah, he was riding a skateboard and he had to go see an orthopedist again to get through the scene.
You guys want me to give a quick cast rundown?
Is that
Yeah,
possible?
yeah, I forgot
There's so
about
many
that.
people in this one.
Well,
Yeah, this
I
is a
had-
big one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to cut out a few names, not because of credibility or anything like that. I was just trying to make it as short as possible. And I know we talk about a movie having a who's who, but can we just bump this movie up to the legendary status instead of a who's who? It's a legendary status, just based on all the legends.
And I didn't know them all by my. I know that's somebody, but I mean, and then so many music.
You know what? You just gave me my next movie pick, Joe. Right there.
Really?
Yep, because I'm going to lay a movie on you that has more who's who's.
Really?
Yep. Go
A
ahead.
lot of musical.
Okay, now,
stars,
yeah, but just
though.
because it has a who's who doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good one.
No, it's a good one.
Okay.
I forgot about it until now, though.
Okay. Well, I seen you writing over. I was like,
I'm adding
what
to
did
my
I
list.
say that it triggered him?
I got a list of like 20 movies.
I know. I keep making my list longer. Every time I see one, it'll just set off another one. Okay, so John Belushi played Joliet Jake, and you can find
Reference to the prison.
You can actually find another movie he starred in on Animal House, which we covered in our archives at BeenThereWatchThat.com. And everybody knows John from Saturday Night Live. Frank Oz was a corrections officer, and he made the list because of how interesting I found his career. Frank Oz isn't someone that I've heard of, but he has done several voices for Sesame Street. He does the voice of Yoda and Muppet voices over the years. So that's his ticket to claim.
And are we talking the guy that is as he's getting out of prison in the beginning?
Yes, one of those guys. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen. I said that's interesting. I didn't know the guy, but once I seen what all his accolades were, I was like, no, that's awesome. So Frank Oz, you made the list. Dan Aykroyd was Elwood, and Dan Aykroyd was in Ghostbusters, Coneheads, and actually I forgot about Coneheads until we was talking about it before we went live, and Saturday Night Live as well. James Brown, the singer, played Reverend Cleophas James, and this is one of the few movie references he was actually in. If you look up his IMDb, he's had several claims or credits. Thank you, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I went blank for a second. Credits, but it's usually from his music background, not him actually making an appearance. So James Brown's in the movie. Shaka Khan was the choir soloist, and another. You always hear the music but never see them in a movie. Steve Williams was Trooper Mount, and Steve Williams as in the X-Files and the It remake that they did a couple years ago. Carrie Fisher was the Mystery Woman, and everybody knows her as Princess Leia from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's crazy big. And, and I forgot she was in there. I saw it
me too.
again, and I was like, wait a minute, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
And I recognized Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
And
that was kind of obvious, yeah.
Yeah. And James Brown, obviously.
And I forgot John Candy was in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I was like, that's John Candy. I mean,
Yep.
it's just immediate.
Yep.
It's a late appearance, comes in later.
Yeah. Yeah, he played Burton Mercer, and we've talked about John Candy in Home Alone, which is in our archives.
Mm-hmm.
He's also in Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Spaceballs, and Uncle Buck. And I have Uncle Buck on my list. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on Uncle Buck, but I think
I've seen it. I like it.
I've never seen it, so.
Oh, Justin,
I'd like to
you're in for a
check it out.
trip. If you like John Candy, Uncle Buck is right there.
All right.
And another one that caught me completely off guard was Paul Rubens as the waiter.
Pee Wee Herman?
Yes, Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
You're
sitting
I
there-
did notice him.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was on there until I seen him show up in the restaurant. I was like, that's Pee Wee Herman. And then John Lee Hooker was Street Slim, and he also another famous singer. Dave mentioned Aretha Franklin. She was the Soul Food Cafe owner, and she also makes another appearance in Blues Brothers 2000.
Not to put you on the spot, Joe, but do you know how many of the, when they get their band back together, how many of those guys were real musicians, or were they all actors, or
No,
some
actually,
of them famous musicians that I just don't know?
I
Like the guy with the afro, he had some funny lines.
Yeah, I think some of them actually did do music, because I went back when I was going through the cast list. Some of the actual band members actually did music for other movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really interesting. I didn't realize that. I thought they was just regular actors, but no, these were actual musicians. Ray Charles was on here, played Ray. And please, Mr. White, forgive me for just completely pulverizing your name. Dvorak's White. He was the boy that tried to steal the guitar. He played in Die Hard.
Yep.
Jeff Morris played Bob, and he was in Blues Brothers 2000 and Anger Management. Charles Napier was Tucker McElroy, and he went on to play in Silence of the Lambs, Rambo 2, and the first two Austin Powers movies. John Landis was Trooper LaFong, was in the Twilight Zone movie and Coming to America. Jeff Cahill was one of the orphans that they showed in the orphanage, and he went on to play in NYPD Blue and ER. Ralph Foodie was the police dispatcher and was actually in both of the first two Home Alone movies. All right, now here's the last and certainly not least. I did not see it, and I want to get your guys' reaction on this. Steven Spielberg. Did you guys know he was in here?
Nope.
Dave, did you know?
I saw it in the credits.
Okay, but did you see it before then?
No.
Do you guys know where he was at in the movie?
No.
Don't have a clue?
I don't even know what he looks like, really.
Okay. He was the Cook County Assessor's Office clerk.
That's right. Yeah, when they went in and paid the ticket,
Yeah,
he stamped
that
and all
was
that.
Steven
Yep,
Spielberg.
Yep.
Didn't even notice. Wow.
I didn't either. I had to go look it up. I was like, no, wait a minute, time out.
Yeah.
The little squirrely guy at the counter, that was Steven Spielberg, so I did a quick Google search, and yes, that is Steven Spielberg.
Oh, man.
The full makeup, or the hair, fake mustache.
Did he have anything to... Did he direct this, or he just came on and acted?
He came on and acted.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that. I was like, there's no way. And sure enough, Steven Spielberg makes an appearance in the movie, completely under the radar. And Steven Spielberg is famous for directing and playing a major hand in E.T., Saving Private Ryan, Indiana Jones, and many, many more classics like Back to the Future, stuff like that. So I was shocked.
Spielberg, and just a quick little sidebar. Have you guys seen Ready Player One?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't. I just...
The book's really good.
When I found out that he
The movie's okay.
directed that, I was kind of interested.
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested before, but...
Yeah, when I read that last night, I was completely floored by seeing his name in the movie. So this has probably been the longest cast that I've read down. But man, what a legendary
I had
cast.
to do a double take at Carrie Fisher because I'm almost positive that's her, but is it her? Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah. Well, it was funny when they showed her at the beginning just starting to attack the Blues Brothers. I was sitting there like, well, who's that guy? Who is that lady? And then Jake at the end of the movie, Elwood's going, who is this lady? And I was like, okay, thank you. I'm not the only one sitting there trying to figure out, because I thought my short attention span that I missed something. That apparently a key point to figure out who this lady is like, okay, this lady, she keeps coming up out of nowhere and keeps trying to kill these guys.
Yeah, she's like shooting at them and blowing up dynamite.
Oh, yeah. Blows the whole building down.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, though, they all kind of make their way out of the brick, after falling several stories.
They just kind of don't acknowledge that the entire building collapsed.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get to work. I thought that whole... But like you said, after a while, you're like, are they going to keep doing this? That they
the nonchalance.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny. Just the deadpan humor of the movie.
Like when the phone booth comes out of the sky and lands and all the quarters in there. Hey, It must be like $7 in quarters.
The phone booth explodes and flies like at least 100 feet in the air. So where's that coming from? Is there a director on here that's like kind of associated with the National Lampoon type scene? Because it seems like a little bit of a similar type of kind of outlandish, crazy comedy mixed in.
I don't know. That's a question for Joe.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there is, because at the end of the movie, did you guys catch the end of the movie?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know.
After the credits. After the credits
no.
rolled.
No.
No, probably not.
Okay. They made another reference to Ask for Babs.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, well, I went all the way to the end of the movie. I was like, I'm just going to see if they actually put anything at the end. And just like they did in National Lampoon's Animal House, there was another Ask for Babs reference made.
And yeah, for those who missed that episode, it's basically it was someone who was working on the lot back in when.
Yeah,
someone who was kind of a tour guide on one of the big movie lots or something.
Yeah, it
everybody
was.
liked.
Yeah, one of the characters in Animal House actually went to work for Paramount Studios, and they said, when you go to Universal Studios for the tour, ask for Babs. And of course, this was before the internet, so a lot of people didn't know this. But if you actually went to the ticket counter and bought your ticket to go on the tour, if you told them, hey, Babs sent me, or asked for Babs, Paramount would either give you a discount or just give you a free ticket for your visit just for asking about Babs. And they did that all the way up to, I think, 1988 or 1989.
Nice. All right, so what do you think the most poignant thing about the film was? What stands out in your mind? Hit you with a hard question.
Right out of the barrel.
Yeah. For me, it was like they wore their sunglasses all the time.
Yeah.
Well, they even made reference to it. They sit in the car.
Mm-hmm.
We got a full tank of gas. It's dark, and we have our sunglasses
Yeah.
on.
Oh, and the spa too, and they're in town
Oh, yeah.
naked, but then they've got their hat and their sunglasses on. I thought that was funny. And they zoom out on all the bands in there too. That was a good one too. Yeah, that definitely. I noticed that and thought about like, what would the movie be like if they didn't have their sunglasses on? It'd be a totally different movie.
Yeah.
Because he takes them off at one point, shows his eyes.
He takes them off just for when Carrie Fisher has the rifle and is going to shoot him.
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, they were poignant about. And one of the fun facts says, actually, I looked down through it, says that the Universal Studio wanted them to take their glasses off more often, but the whole crew said nope. They're going to keep them on. The creative team said they got to keep them on.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm with Justin on this one. I think that would completely changed everything
Oh,
if
yeah.
they kept taking them on and off.
I agree.
It would just been part of their. It would have been a prop at that point. It wouldn't
Yeah.
have been a signature piece.
So they did actually drive through a mall.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
So it was the Dixie Square Mall, and it was had shuttered.
Had tons of extras in there running around. Like
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
That was wild.
They closed the mall due to increased crime, and then it was donated to a local school district to use for a couple of years while a new school was being built, and then in summer it was used for the car chase. And they filled up all the stuff and said, listen, we're going to send back anything that's not torn up. And they had all new cars out in the parking lot. And they brought on all the extras, and they left it trashed.
Yeah, did you guys know that that Universal actually was sued over that mall?
Yeah, they didn't clean up. The school
well,
authority.
It was basically abandoned, and Universal was later sued for $87,000 for failure to return the mall to its original condition, something that had never been agreed upon.
Well, the Harvey Dixmoor School District sued Universal Studios.
I'd say they definitely did 80,000 worth of damage. They were just,
Oh, yeah.
it's like there's multiple cars in there and upside down, and the cop cars, or a couple of cop cars chased them through them all.
Yeah, I was
smashing
watching
stuff up.
As I was watching that, my thought process was, how cool would it have been to have been a stunt driver that day?
Yeah.
It's like, honey, what'd you do today? Oh, I drove a car through a mall.
Yeah.
It did thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Well, it all opens with there's like a guy at the counter checking out. He's got some like little Elmo doll or something.
Yeah.
He's got that blue like stuffed thing, and he's asks a question about it. Then suddenly there's a car busting through the side.
Did you guys notice that Jake's watch is broken?
when he's checking out a person.
Yeah. One
Timex
broken watch.
Broken.
And then there's two other scenes when the policemen are like, it broke my watch. So little nuggets in there.
Yeah, and when Jake comes out of the prison and they go through his whole list of what all he had, and someone was like, "Really? That you've inventoried to that?"
And there really was a Ches Paul, prestigious French restaurant located in downtown Chicago, in a mansion, and it was in Blues Brothers and also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where Bueller impersonates Abe Froman, the famous
Really?
sausage king.
Yeah, I thought about bringing in 4 chickens and a basket of rolls for us this morning.
Mm-hmm. 4 chickens and a Coke.
Yeah.
White bread.
Yeah, white bread.
Toasted.
Yeah.
No butter, no jam.
Just dry.
Dry.
And that was Paul Rubin's biggest movie to date.
Other than his Pee Wee Herman run.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, at that point, though, he hadn't been in that.
Well, true.
But he played a waiter.
That reference we're making is, and they come into the diner, and that's the order that Dan Aykroyd's character makes. And I was getting a kick out of like the interaction between him and the guy's wife.
Yeah.
Because she was just like, these bums, like, kind of talking bad about him.
Yeah, get them out of here. They stink.
Then they kind of broke into a big song and dance right there at the same time, which I could take or leave. I was a little bit. What do you guys think overall? Do you like the song and dance and full production?
I didn't mind it. I was amazed that whoever did the
comedy.
gymnastics,
Yeah.
dressed up as Belushi, was able to do it with that, the bigger belly costumes type stuff
Doing
on.
back handsprings through the church.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Joe? Did you like it?
It wasn't bad. Now, the scene with Aretha Franklin in the diner, it was almost, you had to go that route. I mean, with Aretha Franklin being in there.
And they were good songs.
Yeah, and she played her part well as the, hard-nosed, it's my way or the highway deals. So it was one of those, she had, with her in that situation, you had to go that route. I mean, there was no questions asked.
She doesn't want her man running off and joining this freaking band with the Blues Brothers. So she lets him know in no uncertain terms that.
Yeah, one of those take no crap kind of ladies.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that whole scene. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you got these big stars in there, you got to give them.
Yeah, especially with
the
the musical backgrounds these stars have. I mean, it's
If that's
kind of
a deal breaker
heavy-handed
for
that
you,
you
though,
have
then
to
maybe
go that
we'll do it.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those folks that they can't deal with stuff like that.
Did you know the
Wouldn't
the Pope stopped by the set, and the Vatican?
Really?
The movie is praised by the Vatican. Yeah, because
Praised by the Vatican.
they cited the duo battle cops, neo-Nazi crazed country fans, in a bid to save a Catholic orphanage. So they, said, all
He's
right,
on board.
good mission from God.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, Joe. As they go on, more and more people are after them. So there's like these Nazis doing a rally, and they drive their car and make them fall off a bridge. So then they're out to get them, and then they steal. What was the band's name? They stole the good old boys.
The good old boys.
They basically went in there and stole their spot, pretended to be them, and got.
Yeah, stole their entire show.
So then they're after them, and then of course the mystery woman, which she's shooting rockets at them,
and she's literally hitting them with everything.
Yeah.
So, you didn't go over the cost yet, right?
No.
Okay, so there was a scene where they go into the Daily Plaza, which was the old mayor of Chicago, and they got the new mayor to agree to the movie and stuff because the old mayor was there a long time, and Daily Plaza, so it was Mayor Daley. But they were going in to wreck it, which was part of the new mayor, But that was $3.5 million between tanks, helicopters, extras. They had to replace a set of windows that cost $17,000. It was shot over Labor Day weekend, and Cook County's assessor office across the street from Daily Plaza. So $3.5 million for that last scene.
Wow.
It says this movie occupies the number 9 spot of most cars destroyed in a movie, 103.
Yeah, they actually won the world record for that. They actually set the world record with 103, and then it was the world record until the Junk Man in 1982, which was 2 years later, wrecking 150 cars and a plane, and that record was held for over 2 decades until over 300 cars were wrecked during the filming of The Matrix Reloaded in 2003.
Yeah, it's crazy. They also needed federal approval to drop the Ford Pinto through the Chicago South skyline.
Yeah, see, I didn't think the way the picture looked like. I thought it was like
No,
just
it
a
is
studio
real.
setup, like they had like a little miniature car that they made a little miniature city. I didn't know that they actually
Yep.
dropped a real car.
They hauled it up in a helicopter and got approval from the FAA and dropped it. And it landed in an unused lot. And and he says, who was it that's saying this? Blah blah blah. Anyway, doesn't matter. So he was saying that there's a moment when you see a Pinto falling, suddenly the image of the Sears Tower comes into view. Second tallest building in the world. Is crazy, but we were drunk with power, and you're able to get away with stuff like that. But actually, it was the John Hancock Tower, which is the third tallest building in Chicago in 1979. But he said that was his favorite part of the movie. Actually, that was my least favorite part. I was like, oh, come on now.
Yeah, that was me.
You jump off an interstate bridge, and the car's falling from a half a mile high.
I like the car jump at the very beginning where the bridge.
Yeah. He's like,
is
I don't like this
raising,
car.
so
He's like, let me show you some horsepower.
Because you can tell that was a real stunt. They got
Yeah.
that car off the ground. I get that. So that car is going to be destroyed once it hits. Probably going to have some suspension issues.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opening scene, the guards, actual prison guards at that prison when Jake was coming out, they actually shot at the helicopter filming the overhead shots. They thought it was an attempt to spy on the structure. So somebody didn't get the memo that there's a movie crew here, and they started actually firing at the helicopter.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So here's kind of some sad news. The Soul Food Cafe where Aretha Franklin sings was actually Nate's Deli on Chicago's famed Maxwell Street. It's now a parking lot.
Yeah.
So between that location and the mall, there is a completely missed tourist opportunity right there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you literally could have left that mall in shambles
Yeah.
the way it was, and people would pay good money to go walk around. And
It sounds like it's in a really bad neighborhood, though, Joe. I mean, that was back in the 80s, though.
Well, true. Well, and I guess from their standpoint, they didn't expect it to be the cultural hit that it is today.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, I mean, it's just completely missed opportunity of. Because I know if I was going to Chicago, I would go check out the mall that the cars went through and destroyed everything.
Yeah, they had a really good soundtrack. Everything with it went good. So there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, and
Did you know Dan Aykroyd was engaged to Carrie Fisher during the movie?
no,
Yep, and then she went back to Paul Simon.
because I seen that last night where it said that they was engaged. I thought, no, wait a minute, so is Dan Aykroyd really married to her? And I looked it up, like, nope.
Nope. Yeah, they broke up and she went back to Paul Simon, who was her previous boyfriend. Dan Aykroyd originally wrote a 324-page script for this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a 2-part movie.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to be originally 3 hours long with an intermission.
Oh, really? So that I thought that, like they was going to release part 1 and then later on. So it's actually going to be a 2-part movie all in one setting.
Yep.
Some of the singers weren't used to lip syncing to pre-recorded songs. So James Brown ended up actually singing his number live with a recorded backing. The rest of his choir was lip syncing. John Lee Hooker's performance of Boom Boom was recorded live at Chicago's Maxwell Street Market, and Aretha Franklin's performance is cut together from many, many takes using parts where her lip syncing was actually in sync.
Nice.
And
That's a big job.
Yeah, that's something I never gave it a thought. I just assumed you've got these singers on set. Why not just let them belt it out? And
They got too much. The dancing and everything's got to be choreographed. That'd be a big bill to fill.
but
Oh, yeah.
but I never imagined that these professional singers that sing for a living, having trouble lip syncing. So
Yeah.
nowadays we have trouble with real singers singing. It's kind
Yeah,
of weird how
it's
flipped.
reversed. Yeah. John Belushi got paid twice as much as Dan Aykroyd
Why?
because he had his Animal House movie in, and they're both on SNL, but Belushi had a little bit more clout. He got paid $500,000, and Aykroyd got paid $250,000.
I didn't know this was all kind of based. This all came about from a SNL sketch they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1976. I think you guys might have mentioned that before. That it's just a little one-time thing, and that turned into a whole movie.
And it's funny how Saturday Night Live has influenced so much of the movie culture. Coneheads, the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, Animal
Wayne's
House.
World.
Yep, Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And that's Belushi, drove a lot of stuff. It's a shame he passed away, but they were jokingly calling him the unofficial mayor of Chicago. And apparently he wandered off set one time, went into a neighborhood and into someone's house, ate a little bit of food, and then slept on their couch, and Aykroyd had to track him down. So he had some problems staying on set and getting back to set, and
Yeah.
there was a joke that they had a budget for his cocaine.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd actually said that there was a line item on the budget for cocaine, so the cat helped cast and crew stay awake during the night shoots. According to Aykroyd, John Belushi enjoyed it the most and felt that it enhanced his performance.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like the documentary All Things Must Pass, and that's going to be one of my picks coming up. I'm not sure when. Talking about the record store Tower Records, and they interviewed like a lot of the higher ups, the managers and stuff like that, and they joked and said, and they actually showed the budget. They had a line item that said hand truck fuel, and they said, "What's hand truck fuel?" And they said cocaine.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that companies actually had line items that either flat out said cocaine or covered it up with weird things like hand truck fuel.
Yeah.
John Wayne's son, Ethan Wayne, was actually a stunt driver on the film. I've seen that. I read that and I said, that's weird and pretty cool at the same time.
Have you guys seen the Blues Brothers 2000?
Nope.
I watched it once. I had the VHS, but from what I remember, of course, now I was a lot younger, so I don't think it held up as good. But again, that was
On here it says it's a flop.
yeah, that's what I've read. Again, that was 20 years ago, so I don't know if it would hold up or not.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have John Belushi in it, so I mean it'd be very hard
Oh, does
to.
it? Jeez. Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
When did he die?
82,
Like
I think.
A couple years after this?
Yeah. And I mean, even if you had John's brother Jim, which Jim Belushi is a great actor in his own right, I don't think, even if they would have tried to play it off as Jake and Elwood, even having John or Jim Belushi in place for his brother, I still don't think it would have.
Yeah,
worked.
John Belushi's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
He's his own guy.
Yeah, and not a bad word against his brother Jim. Jim Belushi is a great actor all in his own right, but I don't think it would have worked if they tried to switch Jim in for his brother's spot.
It wouldn't have. Nope.
Did you guys like Aykroyd in this? You thought he did a pretty good job?
I did. I thought his name matched him like Elwood. He kind of looked tall and goofy like an Elwood.
Okay, now I'd never seen anything mentioned on this, but did you notice at the gas station when they show when they're standing in front of the gas station on the window, there was a picture of Abbott and Costello. It's like, oh, that's perfect for
Really?
Yeah, I thought. I don't know if there was any association with that, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. They would be the modern day Abbott Costello."
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. How much? $92.
Yeah. And the lady just pays
How in the
Well, she had
world?
an accent, so it's almost like she wasn't familiar yet.
Yeah, didn't understand the
That's right.
conversion rate or something.
Still though, $92 for a tank full of gas in that little car.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck? And then she shows up at the hotel waiting. I'm like, oh boy.
I love the restaurant scenes. He's aggravating that family behind him. How much for the women?
Yeah.
I want to buy your children.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much for the little girl?
Gosh. That was funny.
Yeah, they're like, can we get a new table? These gentlemen do not smell good. Or something.
Yeah, and they basically tell us that either you come with us or we will be here all day, every day, 3 times a day.
Yeah, it's funny. It was funny when they went to like kind of track down some of their old bandmates, and they're at this one looks like a lounge. All the lights are red, and they get done playing a song, and it's just dead silence. And like he says, like, "You guys are great," or something like that.
What was the name of that band?
It
had a funny name too, and he had like red velvet on the instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
like, you guys get out of those monkey suits and join our band. Like you guys have been wearing the same suits for 3 years. What are you talking about? Yeah, it was some because they find the card that says the band's name on it. Come check us out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Yeah, so I like how they took the Cadillac car and just basically spray painted over their original band name and just put the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
When they go to that country bar, and at first people were throwing bottles at them.
Yeah.
And they kind of do a quick switch.
Rolling.
Switch it
Raw
up.
hide.
Because the bartender's like, he's like, "What kind of music play here usually?" She's like, "Oh, both kinds, country and western."
Yeah.
But yeah, then they get up there. The stage is surrounded by chicken wire. Good thing it was, because people were just hurling.
Yeah, apparently
beer bottles
that's
at
a
'em.
normal in that bar.
And then they started liking them, but the beer bottles kept exploding.
Yeah.
Come on, anyway, yeah. It's funny how chicken
It's
wire
like they
causes
liked it, so
bottles
they
to
threw a bottle.
explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, now we're throwing beer bottles at you because we like you.
Everybody's cheering and throwing bottles. Yeah.
Gotta try to figure out what the band name was in that first band.
So they said John Belushi was...
Well, it's something Murphy, because the main guy.
Oh, that's right. Murph and the
Murph
somethings.
and the-
Blues Brothers.
Huh.
The character's name was Matt Guitar Murphy.
R.I.P.
Okay, Matt.
Murphy Dunn. Huh. Tough to find. Guess nobody else cares. Oh, Murph and the Magic Tones.
There
we go.
you go.
Just edit out that little sentence.
Yeah, Murph and the Magic Tones.
Yeah,
That's
they're,
funny.
they're all wearing like the matching.
Yeah, red tuxedos, the
yeah.
floral, whatever fluff. Gosh, and they looked 70 hippies, so they look like blues musicians.
Yeah.
So seeing
Well,
them dressed up
was
is kind of funny.
This was filmed in 1980, so it was still right there
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
hinge. And what's fun?
Well, I just mean if I'd saw Murph and the Magic Tones, I'd have been like, yeah, no way.
Yeah.
Maybe Murph, but the other two, they
Right.
were
Long
definitely
hair.
like rock and roll
Yeah.
musicians,
Yeah.
and they were playing like polka type music or whatever. I don't even know. It was rough.
Now, I found it funny that when Jake and Elwood are trying to leave the concert hall, that the guy goes, "Yeah, I used to be a bouncer here back in the 70s."
Yeah.
That was at least a year ago because it's 1980 when
Yeah,
this was filmed. Make it sound like it was a real long time ago.
Yeah.
I like how he's carrying 10 grand in cash.
Yeah.
Right now, bonus.
Boom.
Here you go.
So they said John Belushi was nicknamed the Black Hole because he went through hundreds of pairs of sunglasses during production. He would do a scene, lose a pair, and before he would film the next one, they'd disappear.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. He couldn't keep track of himself, much less his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Huh.
So one other singer and guitarist that we did not mention in the cast list was Joe Walsh.
Oh, yeah. Who's in the bar scene at the end?
Yeah, he was seen during the jailhouse rock sequence at the end. He still had his long hair, long mustache at the time, and is the first prisoner to jump up on the table and start dancing.
There you go. Is this a artist I need to know about, Dave? Are you getting
Joe Walsh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got he's like a one-hit wonder, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
was it Rocky Mountain Highway?
No, I drive my Maserati 185. Live in a mansion, or no, lost my keys, now I don't drive. I'm terrible with songs. Anyway, Joe's looking it up, he'll tell us.
Yeah. Life's been good.
Life's been good to me so far.
Help me through the night. Yeah, I would play music, but that would get our video pulled
Yeah, get it
so
pulled real quick.
fast.
But yeah, I hear him. Well, I listen to classic vinyl and classic rock, so I hear it occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Mountain Way. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
one
the
good
ones-
song.
One
Two
of the
good
songs
songs.
that I know.
Yeah.
But I have to say, guys, I still cannot wrap my head around on how many legendary actors, singers, just characters.
Who's the blind guy in the pawn shop?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. There we go.
Yeah.
It escaped my head for a second.
Yeah.
I was impressed when they pulled out the gun.
Yeah.
That scene shocked me a little bit because I didn't expect that. You see the kid edging over, picking up the guitar, and I was like, I wonder how he's going to figure it out. And then he just, pow!
Yeah.
That shot scared me a little bit.
Yeah, I like how he just walks out, normal, but they
Yep.
still kind of, they make you, anybody that knows Ray Charles is blind, although
Yeah.
I've heard conspiracy theories otherwise, but that's a whole other episode for another day. But yet they still kind of play off like, yeah, he actually is blind, because he just walks out, sits right down at the piano, no assistance, shoots the gun without any assistance, but then when he hangs the poster, he hangs it upside down.
Yeah. It's funny. We'll take the whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And I did notice they painted over, like you mentioned before, or one of you mentioned it, they painted over the Murph and the Magic Tones. Exit out,
Yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah, they kind of lucked out with that whole country bar. That the band that they were stealing their spots showed up like 2 hours later.
I know, yeah.
3
They
hours
showed at the
later.
end of the night after everybody already left. Hey, we're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was kind of weird.
Yeah, the bar owner goes, so we agreed $200, but you drank $300 in beer, so you actually owe us $100.
Yeah.
But I like their logic. Well, the bartender gave us the first ones for free, so we thought they was all free.
I didn't even notice them chugging beers while they were playing or anything.
Yeah, it didn't show any of that.
No, but there was a gotcha at the end. If you looked at the beer bottles that was sitting on the equipment, they switched them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like one time it was Budweiser, Bud Light. Then the next shot it was Miller Lite, and it's another brand.
And they had some obstacles to get over. Like some of the theaters, I was reading in the facts, wouldn't play them because they were worried about the racial tensions it might cause, or having, basically black people come over into white neighborhoods to watch the movie. So they refused to play it.
Really?
Yeah, in some of the theaters.
I mean,
it's about the blues, but
here we are in 2021, and
Yeah.
basically anything and everything that you say, somebody gets offended to it over something. But I don't see any part of the movie. Of course, it could just be my ignorance.
they just didn't want to show it in the nice neighborhoods because it might draw a bad element to watch it.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't see racial issues.
No, it was just since it was about the blues and had kind of a
Rebel,
really
sorta.
big cast like that, they thought, man, it's going to draw people everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like acting like the people that the movie makes fun of, the stuffy people in the restaurant. that are
Yeah.
fancy and turning their nose up at everything. Huh. Yeah, as far as like maybe stuff that's a little questionable and might get in trouble for, I thought Animal House definitely was a little more risque than this one.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
this one wasn't. There's really not a whole lot of.
Yeah, this
It's
was
just
a lot
little
more.
cussing here and there, but
There was a lot more tame than
Yeah.
Animal House.
It's crazy, and I know you guys mentioned this a little bit, but it started out like Lorne Michaels originally wasn't convinced that the Blues Brother thing was going to work as a shtick, so to say, but he allowed them to warm up on the show's live audience before broadcasts of SNL. And January 76, so 3 years before the movie started to get shot, he gave him a slot, but only when dressed as Killer Bees, which was a popular recurring sketch. And they didn't come back for 2 years. And Steve Martin was the host, and he asked them to serve as their opening act during the 9-8 stand. And so they brought in top blues and soul session musicians and did it. And I guess it took off after that.
That's just crazy on how much just a sketch or a skit on a program like Saturday Night Live, just one little nugget can plays such a big role in pop culture.
It seemed to me like Belushi was doing all the singing. They weren't dubbing over his voice or anything with a professional
Yeah, I don't.
musician or anything.
Yeah, I don't think any of that was actually dubbed. I think you're right. I think that was.
Because there's a couple notes that are like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe not killing the pitch exactly, but what I read is just he's so got so much charisma that he doesn't have to be the best singer. They're not. That's not what's carrying the movie. It's more just people would rather see that than where you could tell it's obviously somebody else's voice dubbed over somebody.
Yeah. Kind of craziness, and it talked a little bit, one of the articles I read talked a little bit about how it rejuvenated some of those blues and soul singers' careers. Kind of brought them some relevancy with younger people, from the movie. So that's pretty neat. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm old, so I didn't really think about it that way, but.
So I guess there is a Blues Brother TV show coming.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, it was under Dan Aykroyd's IMDb. That there was an actual.
They raised $200,000 for Chicago orphanages as well.
Well, now
200,000.
Yeah.
Who
John Belushi talked
Belushi
the
did?
mayor into letting them have it there, and he's like, "Hey, we'll raise money too." So they did.
yeah, to film in
cool.
downtown Chicago, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd offered to donate $50,000 to charity after filming. So I'm pulling up Blues Brothers here.
Nice. I was going through like some of the comments on this movie, and somebody was like, "R.I.P. to pretty much everyone in this movie." Aykroyd's still alive, right? But
Yeah,
a lot of the other people have not made it to 2021.
yeah, it is kind of sad.
That's
to
true.
look-
Yeah. Carrie Fisher passed away. Yeah.
If you look at the list, it's a very short list of people that's still around from the original movie.
Well, how old's Dan Aykroyd now?
Ray Charles, he's not alive, is he?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, Aykroyd, he's got to be 70 or 60 or 70. Probably 65 or so. I don't know.
68.
There we go.
Wow.
He'll be 69 July 1st. So the Blues Brothers series that's coming soon is the series will follow Jake and Elwood Blues along with characters within their master blues band as the boys take their act on the road and back to their native Chicago. Each episode will feature a score and a soundtrack curated with the Soul's Blues, R&B classics, and hits performed by the Blues Brothers, as well as new performances made specifically for the show. There will also be special guest appearances from aspiring talent, treasured blues legends, and modern-day superstars. So, I'm going to pitch this to you guys. Is there a chance that you guys will at least watch the first episode of the Blues Brothers TV show? It's supposed to be an animated series.
Animated.
Yes.
Weird.
I wonder why they went that route. I'd rather see it in live action. That's just me, but would I watch it?
I would not.
Not even to see if it held up.
Nah, I don't care that much.
You don't think?
I mean, I like the original. I have no desire to see the 2000, and I definitely don't have a desire to see an animated deal.
To see even if it even lives up to the Blues
No.
Brothers name?
Nope.
Justin?
Without John Belushi there, nope. And nope.
Then no, I probably wouldn't seek that out myself personally. I want to keep it pristine.
you don't
just
you don't
stick
wanna,
with the original, not have that tainted at all.
You don't want to stain the name of
Yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I might watch the first episode, just see how well it is.
Guinea pig for us?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, with it being animated, I'm not completely against the idea, but if the content's good, I'll buy
curious.
in.
Yeah, it kind of all would depend on what the animation looks like. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to picture right now how they would do it, but maybe they'll do a good job with it. But
Yeah, I mean the original
to make it not look cartoony.
the original Blues Brothers is so well respected as such a great movie, and Blues Brothers 2000 was such a flop
Yeah.
that they have a big uphill battle here to write the name of Blues Brothers. To write
Yeah,
the
and I
chorus.
assume the animated one would be a comedy, a musical comedy as well. So they'd want to strike that balance between like a serious tone and having some funny stuff in there, because that's
Right.
what kept me entertained throughout this, was getting a kick out of some of the scenes and just funny little things they did here and there. Some of the one-liners some of the bandmates would have.
Yeah. Anyway,
So that,
I liked it.
guys, did we?
That was a good pick. Good
liked
pick,
it.
Joe.
Well, thank you.
I was surprised by it. I did not expect you to throw down the Blues Brothers. That's got to be honest. I mean, it's a comedy, but it's kind of like an off-the-side comedy
Yeah.
and a musical part of it. So
Right.
I was really surprised you threw that one out there. But kudos to you. Good
Thank
job.
you. So, Justin, did your dad watch with you on this one?
He did, yep. He
So-
seemed to like it as well. I didn't get a rating out of him before I left, though. I'll have to report back on that.
Okay, I was gonna say because he would have been able to watch it when it originally released, so I was anxious to see what his thoughts were. So now, Dave, did you actually see this in theaters or did you,
No, I
was this a
never
later
went to
on?
movie in theaters.
So what?
I saw it later on
Okay,
TV.
later on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 1980, I was 5, 6.
Okay.
I mean, I know I'm old, but I'm not that old. I mean, come on, Joe.
For me, I could have totally done without the musical numbers. Like, if you would have just kept it a musical comedy, lots of music in it, but not the actual song and dance. I could have done without it.
Did you not watch the song and dance and just you had to have been amazed, right, about the moves they were doing and the stamina and the fitness that took?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, because they would like throw their legs up really high
Yeah.
and do a bunch of them. I was like, holy cow. The average person could not do those dances and be in
Right.
shape to do them just off the cuff.
Right.
But they were throwing down some serious dance moves.
Now, I don't see anything wrong with the diner music scene, but now the church scene, I can't see where Justin's coming from.
It
As
didn't
far-
totally take me it out of it.
It
for
was,
me, by the way.
It was a little too long
Yeah.
on the church one.
Yeah.
It felt like a little bit of filler.
And a little over the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So I can
could
see.
have been under 2 hours with trimming down a little bit of stuff here and there.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on the music side. Now, like with I have no objections of Aretha Franklin or James Brown sitting there and singing their entire music catalog on the entire movie. I have no objections to that, but I can see for whatever reason the diner scene, it was a little more entertaining. Like I guess just they had enough cut scenes back and forth that I was intrigued. But on the church one, it almost seemed a little too over the top. I mean, like, yeah, I get that, the spirit's going through the church and people are hooping, hollering, jumping, and screaming. I get that, but there was you probably could have maybe cut out a few seconds on that and tightened that up just a little bit. So I can see that.
I liked his backhand spring and then just going straight into a dance. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belushi breaking out, getting the spirit in him, and totally crazy.
Yeah.
I still can't get over the whole time we're on a mission from God,
Yeah.
but all the underhanded things we have to do to get there.
Often how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, pros would be the comedy and a lot of the songs were great, and
Oh, the songs are fantastic.
just the general kind of deadpan humor. I liked a lot of that. For me, yeah, just the length maybe, and some of the songs would be a little bit of a negative for him, but I'm still going to go large popcorn here on this one.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Very nice.
I'm going to go overflowing medium.
Okay.
Can't talk you into a large?
I mean, he might. I don't know.
I think I gave Animal House a medium, and I like this one a little bit better, so I'm just going to go large on this one. But yeah, I could be overflowing medium, but I'm more large.
It would have been a large for me if it wasn't so over the top, like the Pinto falling from the sky. And I agree with you, Justin. The church songs were really long. And just kind of the over the top comedy took
Right.
away a little bit. Where Animal House was less over the top, I liked it better. And this one was just over the top.
Okay.
And like the blowing up the building, and they all just climb out of the brick and walk away. Blowing up the phone thing, and it goes 100 feet, and then they just get out and gather up their quarters and go.
Yeah,
Just so
kinda
over the
liked-
top, it's
I
kind of
kinda liked
crazy.
some of that stuff, but I knew it was silly too. At the same time.
Yeah, so that's why I'm medium overflowing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Justin on this one. I have to give this one a large.
Large, nice.
Yeah, just
Is that because it was your own pick and you got to rank it up there to
No,
build your
'cause I gave-
credibility? You're
no.
trying to make up for Howard the Duck.
Well, it didn't take much to
Yeah.
overdo
I
that.
picked
Yeah.
this one, and it's a burnt popcorn.
Yeah.
I can't pick movies for.
But I mean, just the classic and the nostalgia value of it.
Yeah.
It to this day holds holds its spot because some of these movies are classics that you go back and watch now, and
Yeah.
you're basically just suffering through the whole
They're just
film.
not relevant.
Yeah, this one has stood the test of time. 2 words, John Belushi. Need I say more?
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a few things that they could have tightened up on, but overall, very entertaining movie. Legendary cast again. I'll say it. I mean,
Easy to watch.
Yes.
And I think it's one of those you can pick up anywhere. Like pick it up in the middle and watch it, and it'd be just as good.
Yeah.
Or just if you just catch. And that's what's happened to me over the years. You just catch snippets here or there.
Well, and plus, if you pick it up in the middle, you're not sitting there trying to figure it.
Yeah.
You're like the rest of us trying to figure out who this mysterious woman is that keeps trying to blow everything up.
Oh yeah, it's all the same. Interesting.
So large in my book.
Nice.
Medium, solid overall.
Okay, yeah, good movie.
Yeah.
So Justin, are you revealing your movie pick, or are you gonna wait
I
and
am,
be a
and
surprise?
I'll be honest, Dave. I was considering totally changing it
Really?
because
How come?
well, I haven't seen it, and this could be a total flop. But
Could be a flop.
we're going back to the silent era, 1926.
What?
The General, Buster Keaton,
What?
is my next pick.
Did you say 1926?
Yep. So for nothing else than maybe an educational experience for us, but maybe it'll just be a terrible movie. But it's rated highly on IMDb.
Buster Keaton, you said?
Yep.
See,
Hold on, what's the name of the movie?
The General.
See, Justin, this is the point where I would just rake you over the coals on this, but you have proven me wrong so many times with these just random picks that I cannot rake you over the coals like I used to. I mean, I used to
One of
be
the most revered comedy areas.
Right, and I saw some of the comments. People were saying, "Laugh out loud! This movie's so funny," and I'm thinking, how could it really be that funny? A silent movie?
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm kind of intrigued.
So go ahead and finish up, Joe.
So, like I said, I've always, whenever it comes to Justin's picking, when he picks these ones that he's never seen before, I've raked him over the coals, and I so want to now, but...
An hour and 7 minutes, so if it's terrible, you only have an hour to sit there.
But Justin has proven himself so solid on these just random picks that...
I didn't even know they made movies in
in
1927.
He's gained enough credibility, so it's hard for me to actually give him any more grief over this until we watch this now. Justin, just full disclosure,
Yeah.
you may get the Howard the Duck beating over this one.
Oh
So.
gosh.
But
Yeah,
so far,
that's why I'm a little afraid. But
so far I've had my bat that says Howard the Duck on it, waiting to beat you with it. But
It's
you've
got
always
good-
knocked him out of the park, so I've had to put the bat away. So I can't really give you too much grief on this one.
It's got good ratings.
and it's free on Amazon Prime, so you won't
How in the
waste
heck
your
does
money.
it have good ratings?
I don't know.
It barely made it covered its budget.
8.1 out of 10 on IMDb. I can't imagine, unless these are all just not a whole lot of ratings, but
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little better searching for this. Guys typed in the General and it pulled up the General Insurance Company.
Yeah.
because
You gotta put General Buster Keaton.
generally any black and white movie, even Gone with the Wind or whatever, I can't get into any of those type of movies. But maybe with not have to hear the people talk, maybe.
Maybe that'll make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because I know when you say silent film comedy, I immediately go to Charlie Chaplin.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's what I remember.
So a silent film, a comedy, and getting such high ratings.
Yeah.
This intrigues me. I am completely, I'm all in on this one. Interested. You've struck my intrigue, Justin. I'm interested
I
now.
don't know how it could be good, but we'll see.
I don't know either.
Well, let me hit IMDb.
You
and
picked
Rotten
it, so
Tomatoes.
yeah. Now you gotta live with it, pal. What was the other choice?
I've been kicking around like Apollo 13.
Oh yeah, that's a solid movie.
Then there's a newer one called Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Seen it? Yeah.
You've had, that's
Kind of slapstick.
okay. Yeah. Well, and Good Will Hunting. Obviously, I
Oh,
gotta
Good Will
make
Hunting.
Jill watch that.
Well,
That's-
I've not
that's
watched
true.
those three you just named, I've not watched any of them. I've always wanted to watch Good Will Hunting and Apollo 13, so
Oh, okay.
you couldn't have gone wrong with either of those.
Well,
Okay, so
It's official.
I'm on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb 8.1 out of 10
Yeah.
based off of 82,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes 93% certified fresh and 92% audience score. So Justin,
Crazy.
you have my interest. You've piqued my interest.
All right. Well, you couldn't. I don't know. Couldn't be any worse than Howard the Duck, because at least there's no like flat lines that are going to pop out from actors or actresses that are just horrible beyond belief. So I'm kind of guessing, with the silence, at least you have that going for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those out there listening, maybe want to check it out and
Yeah.
see what you think.
Now,
Buster
what I-
Keaton's the general.
Now I'm anxious to see if it'll keep my short attention span since there's no audio to
No
keep
audio.
me intrigued. So
And
Well, it's a train. It's got a train in it, so
wonder
it's
if
probably going to blow up
They
or
have some
something.
noises, I think. I think back then they would do like sound effects,
Really?
but
It-
no talking. They couldn't record.
like I say, usually they do like a live. They would do
Or
a
this
live.
may be totally silent. I'm not sure. We'll see on that.
Okay. I can't believe it's on Amazon. Who in the world gets a movie from 1926 and has it on Amazon?
The general.
It's a classic, I guess.
Buster Keaton.
I guess, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Joe, you want to take us home?
take us out of here, Joseph.
All right. So all of our news, reviews, and information is at beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at BTWT Pod on all that. And subscribe to the podcast, Been There, Watch That, hosted by Anchor.fm. And please, please, please hit the website and leave us a comment. Let us know if
Yeah.
our ratings are on scale or if we're way off.
Get involved.
Yeah, and leave us a review. And if you have any movies that you'd say, hey, guys, you should definitely watch this, send us some links and some information. We'd be more than happy to get involved and see what you guys would like. We've actually done that before. Bobby Nicholas sent us a list,
Yeah.
and we
Clue-
actually watched
or
Clue a
Clue,
while
yeah.
back.
Yeah, he's fired. Before he even got hired. He's not even going to get a guest spot on this show now.
Do we get any hints, Dave, on your next pick? You hinted at a stellar Who's Who cast.
No, I got to wait
All
till
right,
next week.
all right.
Okay,
But, it's a good one.
so yeah, follow us.
But I got
Been
some
There,
time
Watch
to
That
change.
.com.
I might change mine. That's after this silent movie deal, I might have to see how it affects me. And that happens a lot. Like I'll judge or base what I throw out there based on what you two throw out, and to see if we need to change it up or go in line with what you showed
Right.
or had us watch. And so sometimes that affects what I do.
Now, on mine, I have a list that I fall back to, but then what I do is I go back and look at what you guys
Yeah.
told us said to watch, and I always scroll down to if you like this, you may like this, and I'll
Right,
go through
right.
that list and see if there's anything on there.
See, and that's kind of how I look at it. I'm like, all right, if Justin shows a comedy, then maybe it's time to switch away from comedy, or maybe it's time to follow it up. I don't know. I just kind of judge your all's mood and see
Right.
kind of what I'm feeling like.
So, Justin, how do you pick? Because I mean, you have hit
You're all over the place.
Well,
and have made great choices overall.
part of it for me is skip around to different times. Maybe not Mad Max. That wasn't
I was
my
going to
best
say,
pick.
you forgot about Mad Max, didn't you, Joe?
And I'm still throwing Dave under the bus on Mad Max.
That was
too.
not me. That was Justin.
Well,
Justin. No. I've got archive footage to prove it.
He
You
picked
said-
Mad Max, and I said, well, you got to watch Mad Max 2, which is the actual Mad Max that was famous.
That's like saying, "Hey, you got hit by a car, so you have to get hit by a truck." That doesn't make any sense, Dave.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Yeah, part of it for me is like, Dave, like you said, okay, we just watched a movie from 1980. Do we want to follow it up with another?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I do time frames or just genres that I'm
You know,
unfamiliar with, like the sci-fi stuff that I normally would never watch. But I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try.
I kind of agree with Joe, though. This is interesting because I don't know that I've ever watched a silent film. Now, Joe, Charlie Chaplin was silent, right?
Yes.
I mean, I've seen clips of his movies and stuff, but I've never actually like sat down and watched them.
Right.
With him, he was still doing silent once talkies, they called them, started coming out. So like other people were watching movies
Yeah,
with sound in them, and he was just so stuck in
stuck in that mode.
the silent, so he just stuck with silent until the end of his career, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've never delved into any of that,
Well,
so
he had some
it
Chaplin
caught my interest.
ones that are on the list too, and
Huh.
but this one was just IMDb top 100 movies of all time. Just scrolling through.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested with it to stand up this long.
Well, I'm scared. I'll be honest. I think I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
This might be my
Well,
undoing this pick. We'll see.
here's what I would say. At least it has a train in it, and I'm assuming the train will wreck or do something which will keep Joe's interest. Now, I like interesting movies that are odd. I don't like bad movies or the one movies that are poorly done, but I do like interesting movies.
Yeah.
So you got a shot with me.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of a shot with Joe, depending on this train action.
Well, I was gonna say, so far this is the one that Justin seems the most nervous on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Justin.
Yeah.
You're throwing out something
Well-
here that I can't read because so far you've been kind of confident in all your choices so
Uh-huh.
far, and personally I've been kind of leery and I've given you a lot of grief over it, and now you're actually nervous on this one, and I'm actually excited for this one. So next week is going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, for myself, Joe, and Justin, been there, watch that. Out for another week. We'll be back next week. Make sure you get ahead of the curve and watch The General with Buster Keaton, which is Justin's pick, just in case it all goes bad. Justin's
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes, and then I'll unveil my pick next week based on everybody's mood and kind of how this one went.
Sounds great.
I mean, if this one goes terrible, Justin, I might have to throw out just one that, like Good Will Hunting, that I know is going to be good, just to kind of recover.
Yeah, keep us from drowning.
Yeah,
Back
so,
up to-
gosh, you just never know. Never know with this crew. But anyway, all right, well, gentlemen, great week. Great job this week, and we'll be back with more. And again, been there, watch that. Myself, Joe, Justin, until next week.